Hey, on the line, we've got PFO Super Pro staffer, surf fisherman, Edward Halterman. Edward, man, what a day we spent with you in the Santa Monica Bay. Welcome to Phil Friedman Outdoors Radio.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Not much, man. What a great time we had in the Santa Monica Bay with you, Big Perch, and Bob Osborne in that epic battle, man versus shark. It was really a tremendous day and a lot of fun, and I appreciate all you did to make it so nice.
Oh, no worries, man. It was my pleasure. It was a lot of fun seeing you and hanging out with the guys, and it was really epic, man. It was. I was glad that, we got him to go again, and, after the day I had, before that, I was like, okay, it's going to be the same kind of deal, wide open. It wasn't wide open, but, hey, we banged away at some nice fish, and it was awesome. A lot of fun, man.
We certainly saw the size of the fish that you were talking about. Take us to the day before that and the epic bite that you had. As good a barred perch bite as I've heard here locally in my life.
Yeah, I've been into some incredible bites in my time, and I tell you, I put that one up there with the tops because it was just, every cast, it was just insanity, and the size of the fish were just huge. Especially for down here, you always hear about up north, Oxnard, Malibu, all that good stuff, but for down here, it's pretty irregular to see that happen. So, and I'd had a couple actually bad trips before that, and one of them in particular, a buddy of mine was using the double rig, and he ended up with probably 20 or 30. I had actually changed my rig and went to a shorter rod and a smaller reel just to mess around to try something different. And it didn't work at all. I didn't even hook a fish, and I just refused to use that double rig. It's just against my religion, man.
And double rig meaning two hooks, correct?
Yeah, you just use a couple triple swivels, and you put it far enough apart to where your line won't get wrapped, and then on the bottom you use the pyramid sinker, and you just kind of cast it out, stick it in the rod holder, and it works great. The weight basically hooks your fish for you. So as soon as they bite, the weight just kind of whiplashes the hook and jams it right into them. And, and the thing's in the rod holder, and it's, I don't know, you know how I am, dude. That goes against everything I'm about. So
it's a great rig for beginners. If you want to get somebody down in the surf and get them going and get them hooked on fishing, that's a great rig.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's a simpler rig. And it's there's a lot less maintenance with it, but as you gain your experience, you definitely want to go to the other rig. And after I had those two trips, I went a third day, and then I was just like, okay, everything just looked excellent. All the conditions were there. First bait I soaked for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, didn't really get a bite, but I left it out there. And then all of a sudden I got bit, and then it was just, 8 casts in a row. I had 8 fish. I had 2 misses after that, and then probably another 10 or 15 fish. Shut down for maybe 20 minutes, and then I moved up and down the beach kind of looking for where they went, because the fish are always mobile. They're freaking kind of pelagic, they're moving up and down the beach looking for the bait concentrations, and so luckily I found them again and got them to kind of stop on me. And shoot, I was parked there for probably a good 2.5, 3 hours of nothing but wide open fishing. And, it was funny because I kept counting, and then I'm like at 40, and I'm at 50, I'm at 60. And I was like, okay, 60 is enough, and I'm releasing all the fish and everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then, I don't know, Roger Maris popped into my dome. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, I'm going 61, baby. And I got it, and then I got 62, 63, and then I forced myself to stop because it's like, it's addicting, man.
Oh, my God, that is funny. I know exactly what you mean, and we're talking big perch, and they're biting full speed. I've seen some bites like that in a place called Playa Socorro down near San Quintin, and I was using that double. We even used to use triple rigs down there 20 years ago and catch 3 at a time. But, in the Santa Monica Bay, and the size of these fish, absolutely amazing. And by the way, Edward, when you say you've been in some epic bites before, you're not talking just about surf fishing. You're also talking about epic white sea bass, epic yellow, epic tuna, and I think you're putting this up there with that.
Yeah, and Dorado.
Yeah, and some people are saying, wait a minute, how can you put a perch bite up with a ripper big sea bass bite? How can you? How can you?
It's just fun, man. It's just exciting, and it's so low maintenance. It's so beautiful. You're down on the beach, the sun's out, the sun's coming up, the sun's setting. You're especially down here, generally you're by yourself or you're with a buddy, and it's just and then the financial part of it. I mean, every time you go out on a boat, you're spending $2-3 bills a piece basically when it comes down to it. And this is like nothing. I can walk, down to where I fish. I don't even have to get in the car if I don't want. So it's beautiful, man. I just love it. I'm so hooked on this. And, the next thing I'm going to start doing is, like I told you before, I've been seeing a lot of halibut down here. So I'm going to start targeting those as well. And that's going to be a lot of fun as well.
What's your strategy going to be with the flatfish?
It's pretty easy, although, here again, it's like you got to put effort into it, even with these sidewinders. I think the main deal is a lot of people know about it, but they don't want to go flip over rocks and boulders and, go on a certain tide to go do it and whatnot. So it's the same deal. I'm going to go grab some smelt, jig them up. I got a portable bait tank that's pretty radical that I can keep them alive for a few days, and got the aerator going and everything. So I'm gonna carry a pail of them down to the beach and use a split shot and pitch them right in there. I'm thinking that Temple of Doom spot is where I'm going.
Yeah.
The pictures I sent you.
Yeah.
I've seen them all over that thing. So
and by the way,
should be pretty epic.
You met Bob Osborne. He was tied up in that epic battle with the shovel-nosed shark, and he said when I told him what you were going to do with the smelt, smart move. And now you got this guy Osborne. You know what he's doing, Edward? He's going to make a bait tank for the back of his truck so he can do what you're doing. He's going to copy what you're doing. But, I mean, he's getting so insane about this surf fishing thing, too. He's going to make a live bait tank. I think this is great.
Yeah, I got actually a 44-gallon that basically I got one of those Brute cans out of Home Depot and then kind of did some sealing things to where there's no water going to leak on the inside of my truck or anything. And then I got a 44-gallon aerator. I think it's by this thing called Bubbles or something like that runs off a battery. So the cool thing about smelt is they're real tough. They're not like anchovy. Anchovy, if you don't have them like with the water circulating, they'll die on you in about 30 minutes. They're gone. And then sardine, you might get an hour and a half out of them. But the smelt, I've fished tournaments before, and I've left them in the garage for 3 days and lost 2 baits out of 120. So, they're real tough. As long as you can change water and stuff like that, that helps as well. But there again, it's a lot of effort. But when you put it, it's like anything in life. When you put a lot into it, you're going to get back exactly what you put into it.
Yeah, so. You're right. And one thing I noticed about you, by the way, when you saw Art Soriano hooking these big perch and saying, man, these are the biggest perch I've ever caught in my life, I noticed this smile come across your face, a feeling of satisfaction. You get as much out of watching somebody else catch a fish as you do catching one yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. And, as you know, about a week and a half ago when I took my buddy Ravi down there, he actually beat my record. He got a 2.7. And I was so happy for him. It's just, it doesn't matter who gets it. It's just to see it happen and to see the feeling on their face is priceless. And that's what life's about, man. Sharing these great moments with a few good friends that we have and enjoying every minute, man.
Who's going to beat that record that our buddy Fred Oakley put on the board, a 4.2 one of these days? Of course, Fred, one of the best, if not the best surf fisherman ever in any of these parts. He's a tremendous rod and reel. He's passed on by now, but I remember Fred fishing leopard sharks all night and coming down and jumping on the Redondo Special in the morning and coming out when I was a pinhead and deckhand on there. I mean, one of these days, who knows, maybe someone will get one that big.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I've heard two different stories on where he caught it. One was up north in Oxnard, and then the other, I heard from my buddy that used to fish with him a lot that he got it down here at Rosecrans. So, he got it somewhere, and I'm, with the size of these fish I'm seeing down here, it would not surprise me if eventually it happens down here, because they're out there, they're definitely out there. And I think, the other thing is some of these guys that are fishing the lighter tackle, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to land those fish 9 times out of 10, especially the trophies. As you saw how hard they pulled, and even a couple of the guys that were down there, fishing the lighter line, they even got broke off a couple times, if you recall. So it's like, definitely I start at 12 pound on my main line, and I've even had guys fish 15 or 20. They're not line shy, but they got teeth and they got crushers, man. So it's like, with that lighter line, you might have the trophy on, and I know some guys are into it for, all these different things that they're into to really challenge themselves. But I don't want to lose a big fish like that, just for the challenge. I would rather land it and take pictures and let him go.
Right, I'm with you. I'm with you. And we should mention that 99% of the fish you catch, you let go, you release, and I salute you for doing that. Hey, your fans will be able to come out and meet you, and you're getting fans, Halterman, let me tell you. February the 28th, we have that big seminar at the China Tea House at 7 p.m. in the beautiful city of Torrance, California. So they'll be able to come out and meet you. In the meantime, though, if somebody wanted to contact you, do you have an email address that they can get to you and maybe ask you a question or two?
Yeah, edward.halterman@ziprealty.com, edward.halterman@ziprealty.com, or you can always call me 310-607-0105.
Anything else that we skipped over? Anything else you want to cover?
No, man, it's a pleasure as always, man. Love hanging out with you, and it was awesome day, man, hanging out with you fishing down here. It was great.
Man, I'm telling you, it was my pleasure. It was so much fun, and I can't wait to do it again. And I'm hoping this week we're going to be doing it again, Edward.
Yeah, I'm. This weekend is going to start the next tide swing. The only thing that concerns me is supposedly we got some wind coming up down here locally, so I'm going to kind of play it by ear. But my plan is Saturday to get back out, and then probably by Monday to start fishing these halibut. So I'd really like to locate those bad boys and call you down on one of those ripper bites, because believe it or not, I've gotten into those bites before where those things are wide open. And I know it sounds like it's not possible, but I've been into halibut bites like that, and it's incredible to see. So that's going to be on my list of things to do now.
Next Monday, tune in to the Phil Friedman Outdoors Radio Show, and we'll have more from Edward Halterman. Edward, as always, it's a great pleasure to have you on the show.
Much love, my brother. Take care.